Is the shit motherfucking running? Is the camera motherfucking running? Is the camera out of focusing? Is the camera motherfucking running on its phone? Man, I'm about to rip this shit. I'm about to spit some shit that'll knock you off your shit. Real as fucking shit in these motherfucking streets. Wasn't real as staying in the motherfucking cleats. Yeah, I'm going shit, and you know I'm all shit. Coming off the top, cause you know I'm all shit. Yo, that's a good one spit.
For the rugged. Been a little too nice to y'all. Now I gotta up price for y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all. Shoulders on ice for y'all.
What's going on? It is Miguel coming again with another video. And as you can see, this is a special one because I'm not by myself for once. I have friends, damn it. And this is a very good friend of mine, Keshawn Johnson Sanders, aka K-Rock. Say what's up to the people.
Hey, it's K-Rock coming to you live from Miguel's crib. We'll be filming a video today. I'm talking about my experiences, talking about Miguel's experiences, stuff like that. If you don't know who I am K-Rock in New York. That's what they call me. I am Brandon Carter's personal blogger, whatever you want to say. I'm part of the content team. Basically, when Brandon's traveling and things like that, I'm making sure that it gets recorded, and that's about it.
If you guys know anything about Gary Vee, you'll understand why he's called K-Rock. Like he plays that role. He is the guy holding the camera, but he doesn't just do that. Like he has been doing you were doing phone sales and made a sell today.
Oh yeah. I do everything, man. Sales, lead generation. Basically, whatever I need to do, I just do that role.
So the fact that you were able to get here is no easy feat, because there's people constantly bombarding Brandon and Trilstein, his COO, with all sorts of crap, and you managed to bust through all that noise and get yourself to this position. So that is what we're going to be talking about here, because you showed a lot of resourcefulness, which is something I feel is very beneficial to all of the people watching. Maybe there's 32 of them are parents. Hi, mom and dad.
Hey.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. So let's just start off from the beginning. Sort of the beginning. You were in China at one point, isn't that right?
Absolutely, I was in communist China.
And what were you doing out there? They don't even got YouTube out there.
Yeah, no YouTube. I mean, they don't have YouTube. It's censored, but you can get on YouTube if you know how to.
You know the tricks.
Yeah. So I was in China actually studying language and culture at a real prestigious university in China.
When was this?
This was August 2017.
August 2017.
Summer of 2017 is when I was studying in China, I believe.
Okay, it's March 2019 at the recording of this, by the way.
I could be wrong.
All right. So you're in China. What were you? So you were studying out there. Were you doing anything else, or is it just why were you studying in China of all places?
Okay, so I started taking Chinese classes when I was pretty young. I think I just got put into Chinese class due to my class, and I just stuck with it, and then it came a point in time when I got not specifically bored with my studies, but I needed some other outlet or some other challenge. So I said, okay, you're playing football, you like that, you're pretty good at that, but let's focus on something else, just in case you may find another part of yourself. So I did what I needed to do to get to China. Used all those courses that I had accumulated over the years, which was 8 semesters of Mandarin before I was even in college. So I was fortunately able enough to receive a scholarship from the University of Oregon and my host university to study in China for a summer. That was just
freaking awesome.
Yeah. So I knew I wanted to be more than just local at my college. So I thought that was my first action that I would take to build that momentum. I mean, just get more knowledgeable about not only the formal education system of the world, as a whole.
So then, what was your experience like in China?
All right. Yeah, so
Yeah, I wound up getting the scholarship to China. Is it okay if I can just talk to him like this?
Bro, go for it.
Wound up getting the scholarship to China, so that was kind of it was at first I didn't really know how it would be or how it was. I was kind of monotone because I was still kind of I don't know if this is gonna be good. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I was kind of like, I'll be in a country. I don't know if I can. How much Chinese do I really know? What if I get lost? All this other stuff. So I was kind of panicking. But I just kept on studying Chinese, kept on like researching what I needed to do and what I needed to do to just make the trip successful. Went to China, flew in. Then as soon as I got to China, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll just Google Maps. You know what I mean? I'll get to the dorm and just Google Maps. As soon as I got to China, I pulled out my phone to look at Google Maps, and I looked up at the top right corner, and it was like, no service. And I was like, oh shoot. That's my heart started beating. Like, oh my God, no! I just arrived at a communist country. I don't have any service. What's going on? How am I gonna do it? Then I just like relaxed. Thought to myself, okay, how will you do this? Then I already got the location. So what I did was I was like, okay, I can read Chinese, and I wrote, or like I'm not like completely literate at reading Chinese, but I was just using what I did know and what I didn't, and I was able to get a ticket, just like the subway in New York or something like that. And then I met this dude. I seen this dude who looked kind of lost too. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of lost. I'm kind of lost. But
yo, he looks lost.
Yeah,
I'm lost. Maybe we can help each other out.
Maybe we can help each other out, but I don't want to let him know I'm lost yet. So I went over to him and I was like, yo, are you lost? He was like, yeah, I need some help. I was like, all right, I know where you're going. Like, that's what I did. I was like, I know where you're going. So I just started using his thoughts, and I was like really listening to what he was saying. I was like, he was like, yeah, so we think we need to go here. That's what this means. Like, okay. All right, let's do that. I was like, yeah, I'm going here. You know what I mean? So he was like, oh, I know where that is. I was like, yes, good. So he kind of helped me get to my dorm and stuff like that. So I was safe there. And I walked into my dorm room. I still remember it was kind of dark. It was dark. I walked into my dorm room and there was this Asian dude. His name is Alex. I'll just say Alex. Alex was from LA. His family had made, I'll just say, a lot of money. Alex is the first person who I met who was like openly told me, yeah, I'm in the 1%. And he didn't tell me that as soon as we met, but whenever I walked in there, we were just talking, and I was like, yo, I'm from Kentucky, all this other stuff, we were talking. And we just built a relationship like that. And like that relationship like changed my life, because he was the first person I had met in the 1%. And then before that, it was just all Kentucky football, all those things. And his paradigm just like shifted my whole perspective of how the world works. He was telling me about like jobs, salaries. He was into investment banking. I was like, what is investment banking? I was like, oh wow, the world works a bit different than I think it does. So, and so I met Alex, and then we got hold on.
You're good, man.
Yeah. It's gonna be raw?
This is raw.
Dude. Alright, so I met Alex, and the next day we had to get reserved for our classes and things like that. Went up to him, got into my class, it tested into a high Chinese class, took the classes, and then from there it was just meeting so many different people from like Italy, Spain, Korea, Belgium, like just everywhere. You know, every place that I could possibly think of. I remember there's one time we all like got on WeChat and had a group message, and we all agreed to get Korean barbecue at a spot close to the campus. And that was the first time I was like I was the only black dude there for sure. Black dude just surrounded by 19 to 20 people, and they're all from different countries, and there's all different type of dialects, and there's all people are speaking different languages, but I mean we're all together, you know what I mean? So and that just, at that point I was like, I can't go back to whatever life I lived, because my mind was I had experienced too much to function at the level I was functioning at and still be happy. So
you took a peek behind the curtain.
I took a peek behind the curtain, bro. Like, I was like, oh man, this is bad. You know, I would equate it to, I don't really do drugs, but I would equate it to the first time a person takes like cocaine. I don't know what that is, but I don't know like how that happens or how that feels because I haven't done cocaine. Yeah. I'm just I haven't done cocaine, but like I've done research on like how that makes people feel just because I'm interested in that type of stuff. Because I feel like that's what people in social media do. They play on those same chemicals, those same chemical balances in the brain. But that's what it felt like. It was like dopamine, serotonin, all those chemicals like hit me, and it was just from that experience. So I was kind of like hooked. You know what I mean? I was kind of like hooked on that experience, that high of like being around people who are smarter than me, being around people who are into investment banking, being around people who are in the 1%, being all the way across the world, learning so much. Like I was hooked on it from there. So yeah, and then I just graduated, and that's when I was thinking about going back to school. And I just something in me was like, nah, man, like you won't be able to go back to a classroom now. So you got to figure out a way to do what you want to do.
Okay.
And that's when I started. You can enter, like, I don't know.
Okay. No, this is good. Yeah, so being in China was it sounds like it was like an experience that basically stretched your thinking to the point where you were just like, yo, there's more to life, there's more that's possible. And these people were basically like showing you that. For me, like that happened when the first time I went to a Jason Capital event. Like I walked there, like I've always seen people like talk about business online, but it's completely different when there's a dude in front of you who's a couple of years older than you shaking your hand. I own $1 million business. It's nice to meet you. And you're like, oh shit. Yeah. This is real. Yeah. All right, awesome. So cool. You're in China. You just everything shifted. Your thinking shifted. Yeah, exactly. Paradigm shift.
You had the paradigm shift.
Paradigm shift. All right. So how long were you in China?
I was in China for a month.
A month.
Yeah. A month.
All right. And then where did you go and why did you leave?
After I left, because like the program was over. You know, I was about to cry. Like, to be honest, I was about to cry. Just because it was just a good event. And then when I was leaving to get on the plane, I was on the plane, and then I looked back and I realized that I was missing something. And I was already thinking about not going back to school. You know, just from this, I was just already thinking, man, forget about it. No matter what I do, I have to figure out to travel. No matter if I have to work odd end jobs, I have to go back to China. Because it was just something pulling me. And I came to the conclusion when I was on the plane that I had left my bag in the in the taxi, in the cab. I was like, and I started calling. I called Alex. I was like, yo, is there any way you can get this back to me? And all this stuff. He was like, oh, man, are you serious? All this stuff. And so we tried to coordinate. I wound up not getting the bag. My retainer for my teeth was there. The books, basically everything. My computer from first year of college, everything was in that bag. I left it in China, all the way across the world. I was heading back to school.
There's a piece of you still in China right now.
There's a piece of me in China that I will get back. I will get that back. There's a piece of me in China. I think it was just, it all happens like happened for a reason. But yeah, then I went back to Kentucky. Like, I told my parents, like, I left my bag there. And I was just like, man, I don't know if school's the route for me. Let me figure it out.
What made you think school isn't the route, considering the fact that all the people you were surrounded with
were in education?
Yeah, like they were in formal education.
Here's the so it was a formal education experience. And in that experience, you get access to people around the world. And the form, like the education system, is pretty standard. There's the thing; it's pretty standard across the world. And I was able to communicate with people from different cultures. And the message I got was the same message that I was feeling, but in a different language. We don't like school. It was like Korean girls. Oh, we don't like school. You know, it's just like something we do to get get a job in the economy. That's what I took it as. I was like, wow, this isn't just an American thing. You know, this is
everyone.
Is a global thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just a social, like, school to me is just a social construct that people came up to agree upon, and now it's maybe a bit antiquated depending on what you're going into, like the field you're going into. But my field, I just did research before I picked my major, and I was like, I could probably do what I want to do without the degree. Okay,
that makes sense. All right, so cool. You're back in Kentucky. You're like, I don't know if the school stuff is for me. So then what are you doing while you're in Kentucky? Okay,
so here's how it goes. Like, before I even went to China, because I was already thinking, what if I go to China? Because I was thinking, I knew it was gonna be life changing. I was thinking, what if I go to China and I don't want to, like, what if I want to go to China and I don't want to come back? So I was thinking, or I want to just try something else. I'm always like thinking about other stuff. It may be a good thing, maybe a bad thing. I was fortunate enough to meet a politician in Kentucky. This politician. How do
you just meet a politician?
Yeah.
I mean, like something you guys are gonna learn as we go through this story is that this dude manages to finagle his way into the most interesting networking relationships.
Yeah.
So how do you manage to just become friends with a politician?
Yeah, I ask myself this a lot. You know, I'm still trying to filter out the process of me doing that, but I'll just give you background information. I played football in high school, and some people that I meet always have like this feeling towards them, you know, or something just draws me to this person that says, like, you know, K-Rock, Keshawn, you make a relationship with this person. And most of the people I meet, it's always like that. Most, in general, people are like, I'm just like that, in general with people. There's this old coach, his name was Greg Long, and he was just an old dude. He had played for UK, and he was just talking to me, you know, and we just stayed in touch, something just kept on nagging me, stay in touch with this dude, you know, hit him up, say, hey, how's it going, coach, every now and then. You know, I was still in college at the time, whenever I scored my first NCAA touchdown, as a freshman. And whenever I scored my first NCAA touchdown, I hit him up. I was like, "Yo, coach, I just scored, man." He was like, you know, "Hey, starting to make it, all this other stuff." And I just kept, and he was the main dude I was talking like about. I don't know, coach. I don't know if college is the thing. Like, I just kept on talking to him. He was like, "Yo, just come back." And he was like, "I don't know how spiritual like your audience is. Are they pretty spiritual?"
I would imagine with the stuff that I post on my Instagram, but it's a mix. It's a mix.
So I'm not trying to like, offend anybody in any way, you know.
No, they know not to be pussies.
Yeah. So he was just like just trusting God, bro. And I was like, yeah, you know, like I have that intellectual brain. I'm like, God, what? But I was like, all right, you know, just trust your gut. I was like, no, I gotta go back. And then as soon as I told my coach that I was back and I'd be traveling to China in like 2 weeks, okay, I want you to meet somebody. And that person was the politician, Derek Ramsey, and he wound up being 2-time Super Bowl champion, Secretary of Labor at his mansion, and the first African American quarterback in the state that I had grew up in, the SEC champion, like just full out, decked out. And that dude wound up being like best friends with that coach I had made relationships with.
Okay. So I guess you met this person by how just like you never know who knows who, basically.
Basically, yeah. And you wouldn't, like, the type of person he is. You just see him walking down the street. You know, that's how, like, the 1%, the dude whose brother, like Alex, my roommate, who was in China. 1%, brother works on Wall Street, brother went to Georgetown, he attended NYU. Like, it was regular. You know, the people were regular. You would never think they'd have these networks of people who could actually change your life. Like, that's the big deal about it. It's like, you never know who you're talking to, and you never know who the person that you're talking to knows. So just be conscious of that whenever you're talking to people, and not being fake, you know what I mean? Because me and Coach Lamont, like, me and that coach, like, we really hit it off, you know. Like, I talked to him today. I talk to him all the time. Like, when you get that genuine connection, just usually just keep doing it. Okay. That was beautiful. I'm 100%, like, that alone helped whoever is watching this a lot. Yeah, just be genuine with your, like. Okay, so I have this theory in my head that yeah, money's good, all this other stuff. Like if you look around and see money, but what money is just the byproduct of a good relationship. No matter how you put it, you know what I mean? If it's the CEO who makes this couch, has a relationship with somebody who, I don't know, who's creating these buildings. Yeah, I create couches, I distribute couches. That's the deal right there on paper. And no matter what you say, no matter like nepotism is real. To be honest, it is. Nepotism is real. Look at John Trump. Like it's real. So just play with it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you meet this politician, and then what does this do for you while you're in Kentucky?
Okay. So what this politician does for me while I'm in Kentucky is it was basically like it was like a green light. You know, it gave me that net to say, okay, even if I don't go to college, I'll just make a call to the politician who's running out in apprenticeship programs, because the United States is having right now there's a deficit of skilled laborers. So people like electricians, plumbers, all those skilled trades, there's a deficit of those people. And that politician would be the only person who would like have that principle. He wouldn't have that perspective, but have the power to like push people or humans, or not humans, but civilians into fixing that problem. Yeah, so basically that gave me an inside of where I needed to place myself within the U.S. economy to make sure I always had a job no matter what I did. Okay,
no, that's good. That's good. Having a safety net, but like off camera, we were talking about, like I hear a lot of people talk about like, don't ever have a plan B because it distracts from plan A. I think that shit is dangerous.
Yeah.
Like I feel like having, I don't know, you can tell me what you think, but I feel like having a plan B makes you not stress out as you go after plan A. Because then you can put all your effort into plan A without being scared of, because like if I fail, like there's other things, so I can go as hard as I want on this shit. Like that's how I think about it. What do you think?
That's exactly what I did. You know, like as soon as I said, okay, I'm leaving college, you know, that's exactly what I worked on. Like, okay, if you're leaving college, you're probably not going to achieve the goal that you want to achieve, which is location freedom and time freedom and those things. So you need to make sure that, you know, you can still survive, you know. So get that plan B, get some money saved up, and then go from there. And that's exactly what I did. So that's what that relationship with the politician did for me. It just gave me that freedom, that safety net, something to get me back into the system, something that I can market to other people, and just general skill set.
Okay. So you're in Kentucky. You now have this like foundation that you can fall back on while you try to figure this out. At what point did this lead to you coming to New York and working with Brandon Carter? Like where's the connection? Like how was this happening?
Yeah. So I had the, all right. I'll show you. So this is before I left China. I was making that relationship before I left to go to China.
Oh, so this was happening in China?
No. I made a relationship with the politician before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was already thinking about school, made not work out. So I went to Asia. And then as soon as I had got back from Asia, I was scrolling on my Snapchat. You know, scrolling on my Snapchat, laying down. I was like, man, school wasn't in session yet, but I was still searching for the opportunity to like something I can fixate my mind on and say, okay, I'm not going to school, I'll just do that. And Brandon, I was on Brandon's Snapchat, and he was like, I'm looking for a guy who will follow me around with a camera. And this was right after I came back from Asia, so I'm hyped up. I'm like, man, my life is about to change. You know what I mean? Man, yes. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, yes. I knew it. You know what I mean? I knew I was going to go back to school. So I'm going through that. I'm like, oh, I got it. I got a plan. You know what I mean? So I basically leveraged that experience in China, leveraged all those contacts I had, leveraged every Italian, Korean, every person I met who I felt like would add to like Rolabs or add to Brandon's life. I made sure to incorporate that into a proposal. And I just proposed to work with them, and they sent me a message back and was like, we need you for an in-person interview. And at that time, I was completely broke.
Wait, how many times did you email them?
At that time, it was maybe 5. I want to say 10 10?
10 times.
Like, yeah, okay.
Okay.
So,
You hear that? He emailed them about 10 times.
But this isn't like, I don't know, like, it gets better. So
Okay.
it started off with 10 like that,
Uh-huh.
but I wasn't able to capitalize on that opportunity, so they revoked it. You know what I mean? I told them I wasn't able to go because I was completely broke.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, okay, cool. We don't need you. I'm like, I just messed up. Like my parents did not support me at all. Didn't give me any money. It was just like, yo, get a job. Get a job. You're not going to school, not doing that. Get a job. So I was like, okay.
They being parents.
Yeah, being parents. So I let that opportunity go. And then when my parents like said, we're not giving you money, that's when I was like, okay. I just missed out on an opportunity because I was out of funds. So what do I need to do? I said, yeah. Okay, I just made that connection before I left China. So what I'll do is I'll stay in touch with Bro Laboratories, work that job, make money, and do whatever I need to do to make sure I get that opportunity again. And be ready to capitalize on the opportunity when it happens. So I called up the politician. Hey, Mr. Ramsey, I don't think I'll be going back to school, and I want to try the apprenticeship program. That's exactly what I did. Tried the apprenticeship program, worked, learned, stacked up money. I was sleeping on the ground, because sacrifice. Like I was sleeping on the ground, saving up my money. That's when I bought my first camera. Because I knew that Brandon would need to do to record them. So I bought my first camera, started recording videos for people for free, and just kept on sending out emails. Hey, y'all hiring? Nah, trusting. Nah, we're not. We're good, man. We're good. And I just kept on sleeping on the ground. Just kept on. Just I don't know, man. I stayed fixated on that goal. Stay fixed on it. It's fixated on it. Yeah, I was working, but I knew it. I knew what I was working for. So
you had your eyes on the prize, but that didn't stop you from like getting a job so you can have some sort of income, correct?
Yeah. You would just like a job it's a means to an end. And I was fortunate enough to have a job, even if it wasn't a means to an end. I would be set up because the job was for a 19-year-old, no college degree. That's probably the best you can get in the U.S. economy. Not the best you can get, but the best I could get at that time.
Okay, awesome. So you're hitting them up. You're working this job. At what point do you finally get this break where you can finally Trillstein's finally stops giving you the cold shoulder, that cold Trillstein shoulder?
Oh man, bro. Okay, so I was hitting Trillstein up, and I actually Trillstein wasn't hitting me back, and it started to plague on my mentals. I was like, oh my god, I'm working this job I don't want just for this opportunity that I'm never going to get, and I felt like my employer felt that energy in me. He was like, he's probably standing for something that he doesn't believe in. So we had a talk. He asked me, "Are you happy?" And I said, "To be honest, no." And that's when we talked, and he was like, "You're a good kid. In Amtech, this was the company I work for, Amtech. Amtech will hire you back if you don't find something else. But we think you should figure out what you like, and then if that doesn't work, hit us back." So then I was like, oh my god, I just lost my job. Trillstein's not hitting me back. I'm not in school. Forget about it. I shouldn't have dropped. I'm just going rampant. I shouldn't have dropped out. Forget about that. That's when that was a time in my life when I was like, man, I'm messing up. I was still sleeping on the floor. I mean, luckily I had a little money saved, but not enough to last me not working, for a month or two. So I was just kept on praying, and luckily, out of nowhere, I was sleeping on the ground again, man. And one of my old lacrosse coaches hit me up, said, "Hey, you in town?" And of course, I didn't want to be and he said, his name is Coach McCoon. I didn't want to say that because
You're good.
His name is Coach McCoon. He hit me up. He was like, "Hey man, you in town?" I was like, "Yeah." He probably see me on Snapchat or something else. "Yeah man, I'm in town." He's like, "How's it going?" And I was like, I'm taking some time off from school for some personal things. I told him I actually just got fired from my job, but I'm just gonna keep on going. And that's what I said. He replied back, "I'm actually coaching lacrosse at LCA, that was the place. LCA, Lexington Christian Academy. Would you like to help me out? And I was like, yes, man. Yes, man. You know what I mean? I was like, yes, I got another job.
Okay, look, guys, we had some problems. You know, we had some adversity, but persistence.
Exactly.
Persistence.
Through all adversity, you always persevere.
Obstacle is the way.
Exactly.
This is one of the first books I read whenever I came here. Shout out Splash Man, you heard?
All right, so we're just gonna pick off from you just got a job at
Coaching lacrosse.
Coaching lacrosse.
Yeah, when I was struggling in rope.
Yep. Okay, so cool. Just got a job coaching lacrosse.
B.
What happens next?
Sleeping on the ground. Hopefully, thankfully, one of my coaches hit me up and said, "Hey, I want to offer you a job to help us coach lacrosse." I took that job without a doubt, no hesitation. Took that job and was fortunate enough to help that team have a history-making season. You already know what it is. And yeah, that was good. And throughout that lacrosse season, I was still sending out those emails, still working, still doing whatever I could do. After that lacrosse season ended, I actually had to get another job. And that other job, I was I think I was working HVAC.
Yes.
Yeah, it was an HVAC job, and then throughout the week, and then on.
And you're still hitting Trilstein up throughout all.
Yes, throughout hitting Trilstein, I'm still hitting Trilstein up, still getting the nose, still getting the we found somebody, but I'm just taking it. Okay, cool. Try again. Keep working. Try again. That's just the mindset I'm in. And on the weekends, I'm working security, saving up money just in case. Well, when that opportunity does come, I will be able to seize it. Yeah, that's basically what happened. Then one day, I was sleeping, man. Something in me was just like, send another email. And this is after Trilstein and Johnny had said no to me 60 times, maybe more than that. I said, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna try it again. It was 4 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't sleep, I was running rampant, and I started off the message, yo, I know last time I wasn't able to capitalize on the opportunity like I should have been, but I just recently got finished coaching lacrosse. I added we had this history-making season, and I was ready to act on any opportunity that came my way. And Trilstein actually replied to that email at that time. And we set up a time to get on the call. And of course, I was still working the HVAC jobs and the security over the weekend. But I set up a time during lunch. And I was working. Because Monday or Tuesday, I was working Monday or Tuesday. And my friends were like, yo, you come to lunch with us? And I was like, nah. I gotta take care of some business. So I gotta take care of some business, man. Yeah, so I still remember pulling up in the truck. And I'm waiting for the phone call. And Trilstein hits me up, and I tell him about what I'm doing right now. I tell him about my character. He asked me some questions. What value do I bring to grow laboratories and things like that. And I kept it absolutely 100 with him. I said I did a year of college, but thought the system was a bit antiquated, and I could reach my goals faster by being around somebody who was in the game, being around somebody who's doing what I wanted to do, and then just learn that way. Sort of like the apprenticeship, but in my own little spin to it. I had my own spin to it, and then Trilstein asked me, what skills could you bring to the table now? And at that time, I was okay at recording, you know what I mean? But I still wasn't good enough at recording to call myself a videographer. I just told him that I had been recording some of my friends' videos and shoot pictures for them on the side, and I could do that. And then Trilstein actually told me that there was a position open for a videographer for an event that Brandon will be hosting, and the team will be hosting in Madison Square Garden. And I had to just all I had to do at that point was just get there. And I was like, okay, I will be there. I was like, I will be there. At that point, I had money saved up. I was ready to, go. I had my skill set for where I had value add, money saved up. Mentally, I was just, okay, let's do it. So I called up my best friend. His name is Joseph, JJ. I called up my best friend, told him about the opportunity because I was trying to, like everybody eat. It's cool. Me and I booked the tickets. looked at flights, looked at Ubers. Like I didn't even have a car, you know. I looked at flights, Ubers, all that stuff. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a computer. All this is from my phone and with a camera. And I looked up the Greyhound, and the Greyhound was the cheapest option. Bought 2 Greyhound tickets for me and a friend. Wound up getting the Greyhound for like $60, you know, Kentucky to New York.
And how long was that Greyhound?
Yeah, the Greyhound was, I think it was a day or so, you know, or something like that. Something super long, but
for anyone who doesn't know what a Greyhound is, it's basically like a bus line that basically travels all around the U.S. You can take a Greyhound from any state, and it'll take you basically anywhere you could possibly want.
Yeah, the Greyhound is it's like the closest thing to hell.
It's not fun. It's not fun whatsoever.
On earth. But it's like it'll build character, you know. It's one of those experiences where you're like, man, hey, you know, like,
guess I'm gonna get there.
Yeah, whatever it takes. Wound up getting on the Greyhound. The Greyhound broke down. The Greyhound broke down, and I wound up actually missing some of the first day of the event. But I was still talking to Trusty, and still like even when the Greyhound broke down, I was still like talking to Trusty. Hey, I gotta figure out some other way. Just Uber from Pittsburgh to New York. You know, just I think Trusty understood that I was really like trying to make this work. So it was like, you know, just relax, come here when you can, make it work. Pulled up to New York, got on some more trains, made the moves. I showed up to the event, and then that's when I met Trilstein. That's when I met Johnny. I didn't really talk to Brandon. We just went to work. And I filmed the event, you know, just filmed it, and I had to actually fly out the next day. Correct? Yeah. The next day because I had a family reunion, so I didn't really get to talk too much to the guys. I just filmed the event. I was like, okay, you know, all I can do is just film this event, and I'll get to where I can. So I did that, and then I left out to go to a family reunion. And I think a month later, Trilstein and Brandon got on the call with me, and they were like, Brandon said, I appreciate you coming to film the event. Trilstein told me he'd been trying to get in here for a while, and he said, how can I help you? And then at that point in time, I was like, you know, oh my God, you know, this is happening, you know, like all of that work, all of the thoughts, all of the actions, everything has led up to this moment. All I gotta do is close. You know? So I was like, man, you know, how can I help you? I just asked him that. He was like, so we're actually looking for. And that's a big thing too. You gotta really, whenever you're wanting something from somebody, don't expect it to come free. You know, you gotta give. It's like reciprocity. It's just one of those things we don't know what reciprocity is. It's just read influence. You know? He's better at explaining it. You know, I just do it. So yeah, just give. Basically, just give before you take. Well, if you give before you take, taking will be easier. So that's just basically what it is. So I asked him what I could do for him, and he said, you know, we need somebody to follow me around with a camera. Okay, that's me. I got some camera skills. I may need to get trained by Johnny, but you know, I got the work ethic to do it. And of course, he's seen that work ethic for me. You know, going to New York and stuff like that. And sooner or later, I was moving to New York.
Hell yeah, dude! That's like one of the most wild stories. Like all of that stuff. I think like the big theme in all of this. Was just like how resourceful you are throughout all of it. Like, you got to China on a scholarship.
Yeah.
Like,
China on a scholarship.
Got multiple jobs over and over again, utilizing the people in your life, which people are essentially a resource to a very high degree. Utilizing the people in your life, making money, the little bit of money you can, just to keep money in your pocket, saving it, stacking it. You missed an opportunity, and you knew that what you needed to do. You knew why you missed it, and what you need to do to make sure you did not miss it again. Sent over 50 emails to Trilstein.
Okay, so this is just the Trilstein. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, I was just so focused on Bro Lab. I mean, Bro Laboratories did receive most of the effort, but I was still thinking, okay, what if Bro Laboratories doesn't work? So I was even applying to Ivy League. Like at this, like, so I was doing a lot. Like I was playing Ivy League, sending out emails, trusting, like whatever it took. You know, no matter what I had to do, like I was going.
Okay.
Yeah. So like.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. I love that because I feel like that's what a lot of people need is just that perseverance that's actually going to push them forward.
Right.
And all of that, literally from China to working your ass off in Kentucky, having all these jobs to flying around, like you've met Dan Locke, you've been chilling with Jason Capitol in mansions, like
it's been I don't know. I've been living like a dream. Sometimes it's hard for me to really get grounded now because it's like, oh, flying here, flying there, California, you know, Vegas, Florida, you gotta record, then you're gonna meet some millionaires, some models, and some dude who owns some company, and I don't know, it's been super hectic, but I mean, it feels so good now. You know, it's just like, it feels so, it's one of those things where it's like,
it's so rewarding, it's so rewarding. Like there's a little bit of weight off of your back now. Like it's like tense when you're in that position where you're like grinding and you see this thing that you're working for and you're just like you don't know whether or not it's gonna work out. But that doesn't mean you're gonna fucking stop. So
you're just like back against the wall, man. Back against the wall, it's like you fighting, and then you get knocked out, you know what I mean? You fall, and then you get up, and then you got to keep on fighting, and sooner or later you hit him with a uppercut, and it just falls, you know what I mean? It's one of those, victory, you know, it's one of those triumph.
Dude, that's an amazing story. It's super inspiring. There's like so much to learn. In terms of networking, in terms of like the person that you have to be in order to see success, even when you have literally basically nothing.
Right. No, bro. Like to be honest, I didn't come, bro. I don't come from much. No, I do not come from much. I was literally sleeping on the ground at my grandma. Like this, and you may think like I'm saying, oh, I'm sleeping on the ground with like an air mattress or something like that. No, I'm talking about sleeping on the ground with a blanket and a pillow, and we don't even have Wi-Fi, so I have to go to the public library so I can send these emails from my phone.
There you have it. Just another little drip of resourcefulness right there. Have to go travel and get some Wi-Fi.
Like I had to do stuff like that. I got to go to Panera or like Chipotle, and I'm like, that's what I was saying because we didn't have. It was hard.
Hey, all of that effort definitely paid off in the end. And it's gonna be crazy. Like I would love to have you back on here another like 5 every single year. Just be like, yo, where you been at this whole year? What you up to now?
I know, man.
So, do you have any final words of wisdom for the people watching? Maybe this guy is in a similar position as you were in. Maybe like doesn't have a job or just got one, and their eyes are on something way bigger, but it's kind of hard for them to see that light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So what I did to get through that was I kind of like disconnected myself from the feeling, because it's kind of it's when you're going through something like that, or you're really striving for a goal that just doesn't seem attainable. Kind of got to disconnect. So I would say, think about what I did. I thought about this moment. Like, to be honest, I thought about the moment that I was going to be, okay, I'm going to tell these people the story. So that's how it was. Like, so I was searching and I was doing what I did, but I wasn't, like, it's hard for me to explain. It's basically, you have to think about what this would do for you. No, let's restart that. Okay, so what I would tell somebody who's in that situation like I was in like a dark place, or just wants to achieve something that they've never achieved before, you got to fixate your thoughts on who you would be after you overcome that obstacle. So that's what I fixated my thoughts on. I took walks, I worked out, I was just listening to music. I was basically indoctrinating myself with this belief that I was going to make it, and I was going to tell the person the story about the way I lived it or how I did it. And that was in the back of my mind the whole time. So it's like, okay, who do you know? As you just ask yourself, who do you want to be? You know, do you want to be the person who overcomes the obstacle and lives to tell people and inspire other people to do the same thing, or do you just want to give up? And then whenever you have that choice, I guarantee you'll pick. I want to try it. I want to try it. And what else could I give these people? I think there's a little snippet that I forgot. Could you remind me about it? Did I say it last time?
Oh, being ready for when opportunity strikes.
I forgot how I said it, man. It was just
opportunity came, you fucked up and missed out on it. And then you worked, opportunity came again. Like, you got to be ready for opportunity.
Yeah, so I would like to elaborate on like being ready when the opportunity presents itself. My man once told me, opportunity is always going to present itself. You just got to be in a position to take it. So that's what I want to really capitalize on, because the reason I was able to make it to New York or do what I'm doing now simply is because I was working 9 years. I mean, not 9. You could say that, you know, but 9 months prior to that. And this is just the after effect. It's the cause and effect relationship. If you just like hitting up people just because you kind of like want to work with them or something like that, if you have nothing to offer or nothing of value, or you haven't been working towards this for a long time, it's probably not going to work out, because you gotta. The easiest way to get something is to actually deserve it. So you have to put yourself in situations to make you think, or like to make you think like, oh yeah, this is me. This is what this is what I deserve. And if you don't put yourself in those situations or those weird circumstances or those circumstances where you have to triumph, you won't have the confidence, and you just won't even do it. So yeah, put yourself in those situations. Make sure you're ready when the opportunity comes.
Hell yeah. You heard it here. K-Rock is amazing. His story inspires me. Every single time I'm around this dude, I just immediately get pumped up and feel like just like kicking down doors and making funnels.
To be honest, you know, prior to being here, I didn't know anything about sales funnels, any of that stuff. I learned it all when I was here. And when I seen Miguel like going through his thing, you know, this is his zone of genius, you know, creating funnels, I was actually like blown away. I was like, oh my god, this is really wow. What do you mean you put that online and then you make money? Like that's you can ask Miguel. Like for certain, I was like, are you all serious? No.
The first like 2-3 months he was out here, we would be in the middle of meetings and like he would see sales come in and he would just like randomly tap me and be like, hey, Miguel. I'm like, yeah, is this a scam?
I promise you.
Bro, by like the 7th time, I was like, yeah, it's K-Rock. Everything's a scam. All of it's fake. We're stealing money from everyone. And then that was the last time he asked me.
Then I was like, nah, this is real. You know? Because I was like, yo, what's going to come out and tell me I'm dreaming? You know, what's going to knock me off? That's how I was in that mental state. And I was just like, that was just from all the hardships. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, yes, sooner or later something else will come. So that's why I was still speculating. But now it's like, yo, this is real.
It's real.
It's real. Like, it is real. Like, you can do it. You know what I mean? You can do it. Hey, if you need me, just hit me up on Instagram.
Yeah, hit him up. His stuff is definitely going to be linked. Keshawn Johnson Sanders. That's your handle, right?
Yeah, Keshawn Johnson.
Keshawn Johnson Sanders. It's going to be spelled out. I know it's a long name. It'll be down there below. Check him out. The main thing that he's about to be focusing on his stuff is a lot of networking, leveraging yourself as an asset, and learning how to meet people so you can basically use that in order to get yourself in the places that you want. Because he used all of his networking to get himself multiple jobs, and now got himself a ridiculous job where he's traveling all over the world, meeting people and seeing everything in a business sense behind the scenes, which is like amazing, like incredible position to put yourself in. So yeah, definitely check him out, hit him up with any questions you may have. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Peace.